If you're a decision maker who's worried you're wasting time missing out on great clients or even losing money, you can fix it immediately with the Personal Branding Accelerator program. I help game changers like you build a personal and business brand that automatically attracts clients who want to invest in you. Imagine waking up and feeling unstoppable because your ideas turn into dollars every time. Get booked onto podcasts, master LinkedIn, and attract clients immediately with the Personal Branding Accelerator program, and discover the future successes you deserve right now. I'm going to share with you at least 10 things you're missing in your career plan that are costing you money, not opening up doors, are not getting you to where you need to be in a fraction of the time. What could they be? There's only one way to find out. Keep watching Speak on Stage. Thank you so much for joining me again. My name is Dave Crane. Loads of stuff to share with you today. Hope you're really excited because we've got lots to get through. I want to make sure that you get it all optimized and fresh. Tell me whereabouts in the world you are. Got any questions? Then share them with me. If we're streaming live, then there you are. You can connect with me directly and hopefully I'll be able to answer your questions. If we are on a audio podcast that you're listening to, then just drop questions or get in contact with me directly through my social media and I will get back to you. I do check on everything. Or if you're watching a replay, again, put in questions whenever you're watching them and I'll go back and answer them wherever I can because that's what I do. It's because I'm really nice, really nosy, but really nice. So 10 things you might be missing from your career plan. Really important to get them right because otherwise you might be missing out on opportunities that other people are taking advantage of and it slows down your ascension to where you really want to be. Unless you like staying where you are, in which case stop watching the show, stop listening to the podcast and go back to watching Netflix. Meanwhile, as mentioned before, you can catch Speak on Stage on all your favorite podcast providers. And this is what we're going to start with. If you're interested in upping your game, you really want to be able to launch your career faster, then we have a special group which is called Turbocharge Your Career 5-Day Challenge. It's a WhatsApp group, which means that there's no obligation. It's easy to join. All you need to do is get your phone, and this is clearly my thumb and not a phone. And this is my phone, which I will hold next time I do it. Because this is my phone naked, and this is my phone. Well, it doesn't work like that. So you hold it up to this, unless you're actually watching on your phone, in which case, I don't know what you do. You press on the QR code or make it slightly bigger so you can see it there. Press on the QR code, and it will open up an invitation for you to come and join our WhatsApp group, and then just sit there, wait. So you want to join, and I will let you in as long as you're reputable. We don't let people in who are like, a bit dodgy or serial killers, and we don't let spamming happen. Okay, so by the way, we lock the group until we're ready to do 5-day challenge, and then I share with you each day a different thing that'll get you closer to where you need to be, and then I lock the group at the end of the time when we have a webinar, so there's no spamming, no notifications of rubbish that you don't need to know about, only the facts. Okay, so with that being said, we look forward to seeing you in the group. We've got 250 people in there now, waiting to see you join us, and then welcome to the family. Oh, one last thing. If you are listening to a podcast and you're saying, Dave, I can't scan the QR code, I know you can't. What you can do is go to, write this down, unless you're driving, just memorize it. Oh, it's in my head. I'm trying to remember everything. Does it rhyme with it? Okay, www.bit.ly, which is bit.ly. That's when you shorten something. www.bit.ly / sneeze. That's what you put down. See, it's live. Okay, www.bit.ly, that's bit.ly / Turbo Career Challenge. That's Turbo Career Challenge as one word. I'll go through it again without the sneeze. It's www.bit.ly / Turbo Career Challenge. And I bet you're so glad that I went back and went over it for you. And anybody who's watching it or watching the streaming is going, Dave, why are we still watching this? Because it's great. So welcome to the show. Let's get straight into the most important things. Now, about your career plan, who are you? What do you need to do? How do you need to position yourself so everybody knows? You should have a CV that tells everybody instantly who you are, what you do, and why they should be connected with you. Here's mine.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've hosted over 1,000 events, and there's nothing more exciting or nerve-wracking than getting to introduce one of the best in the business. He's an award-winning international motivational speaker and coach. He's worked with celebrities like James Brown and Bruce Willis.
And I'm Jack Canfield.
And I'm Brian Tracy.
And I'm John Gray.
I'm Jared Robin.
And I'm Perry Marshall.
Hi, and I'm George Regan.
To audiences of over 1 billion people. He's sharing how to become unstoppable in business. It's my honor to introduce to you Dave Crane.
There you go, massive ego. It's not meant to be a massive ego. It's a fact that if you are in business and you're wanting to share with people who you are and what you do, you really should have a promotional video to let everybody know who it is that they're dealing with and what it is that you provide to a market. If you're a speaker, that's a speaker's one. But if you're doing other stuff, people should be able to find out very quickly what your company offers in about, less than a minute. That was about 40 plus seconds, something like that. But when you build your career and you start looking at what it is that you're creating as a legacy, then you really need to look back at the stuff that you've done. So I've been doing for 30 years, I've been working in this particular personal development industry. That's me 30 plus years ago in the UK, working with now King Charles, then Prince Charles, with the Prince's Trust. And there's a letter of commendation with it. Also, make sure your LinkedIn is optimized. When you look at your LinkedIn and people look at your LinkedIn, they should be able to find out exactly who you are in a very short amount of time. And also from there, work out why they should be doing business with you. So my profile has this particular video, this particular branding that you see for me everywhere, which is the red stripe of a red cloak for the Superman idea of creating superheroes wherever I go. And you can see there in the description exactly who I am and what I do, so people know exactly what it is that they can get from working with me. I don't want to waste time with people who don't want to work with me. I don't want people to waste their time with me to find out what it is that I do. It's very clear, front and center, exactly what I offer. Similarly, when you go to start side hustle projects, you should make sure that there's signature or there's something that you do. People need to know who you are and what it is that you offer. And it might be that you've created something separately from what your normal business is. So when you start connecting with people, this is my side hustle starter pack. If you go to speakonstage.com/hustle, then you can see exactly what's in that. It helps you to plug together all the things you need to be able to get your brain in the right place and get all your business elements in the right place for creating a side business, aside from your normal business. And you say, Dave, why would I want to have a side business? Because there might be a pandemic, or you might want to leave your job, or you might have something inside you've always wanted to do, you've never got around to it, but now you think, I've got time to do it on a weekend, on an evening, or it's something that's so personal to you, you think I could monetize it, or maybe I just want to do it for fun. It's a side hustle. And the thing is, if you're doing what you love, and I'll show you this very quickly because I think it tells you everything. I call it the hedgehog concept, only because I borrowed it from somebody else who called it the hedgehog concept. 3 circles. First one, the blue one here, what you're good at, or in fact, what you're potentially best in the world at doing. And the red one, what you're passionate about, and that interlocks in a Venn diagram with the green one, which is what is your economic engine. So basically, what are you fab at doing, what do you love doing, and what will people pay for? And when you get it in the center, that's a win for all those who are listening to a podcast and can't see nothing. It's a Venn diagram with 3 interlocking circles. One's what you're best at, one's what you love doing, and the other one is what's your economic engine, what gets you profit. And when they interlock, it is a win. Why is that important? Because when you do your job, it might be that your job does not involve this. Your job might be that you're doing something that pays you really well, but you don't have your heart in it. So that would be the green circle here. Again, if you're listening to a podcast, I apologize. And also the green circle, which might mean that you're doing something that pays you really good money. So you're working in the stock exchange or in trading or something like that. And you don't love it, but it's very lucrative. So you're rich but bored. Ideally, what you might have is you want to do something that you're passionate about as well. But your main job doesn't allow you to do that. That's why it's really important to consider having a side hustle that does invite you to be able to do that alongside your main business. And maybe one day you drop your main business or you retire, but you continue your side hustle all the way through. Maybe you get somebody else to run your side hustle for you. Or maybe you use AI to look after your main job so you can have more time with your side hustle. See what I did there? No? Well, that's why you need to get hold of this. It's available for you with your side hustle projects. You also need to make sure that you've got a list of products and services that you offer to people. You can see them here if you want to have a look through. And I'm showing you this not just because I want to sell you stuff, but I'm showing you this so you can see how you can sell your stuff. It's true. If you go to speakonstage.com/4, the number 4 and you, not and, just you, for you. Excuse me. It's because the AC's just suddenly kicked in my office because we're here in Wakanda and it's really nice. So you offer your list of products and services that people can see them in their own time. So you don't have to sell all the time. You can just show them and they can go and get it. Once again, at speakonstage.com/4u if you want to have a look at how I lay it out there. With the branding too. So there's the ideas. So what's missing from your career plan? What is it that you've got? And what is it that you need to add? Let's get straight into that after I've shown you what you need to create so people can find you and people will want to work with you. This is your main job. This is your main career. This is what somebody's employing you to do. You ready? Good. In that case, let's begin. Number 1 is this question. Are you the real deal? Are you? If you are the real deal, people should know that and we should be able to find evidence. If you're not the real deal, they don't know. How do you prove it? Tangible successes. These are a number of different ways of doing it. You can have your referrals, you can have testimonials, you can have letters of commendation, you can have letters after your name, but you need to prove that you are very good at what you do. You also can put this onto your LinkedIn profile, by the way, as projects or experiences that you've had, because people will glance through it before they decide to work with you. If you ever lose your job, or you're looking for another job, or you want to connect with new people, or you even give out your business card, people want to know, are you the real deal? Are you going to deliver what it says on the tin? If the answer is no, then you can forget it. They don't want to work with you. Next up, this. Have you done anything else that's not on your CV? What else have you done? So it might be that you volunteer your services. It might be that you have a special interest in one part of an industry. It might be that you swim or you jog or you run marathons or you look after a team of young people or maybe you volunteer your time to the community. These are all really important parts. You might not earn from them necessarily, but they help to create a rounded career for you that people will say, oh, wow. And so they might still want to work with you in your normal capacity, but they may also feel really proud of the other things that you do too that aren't normally on your CV. So you should always have special interests, always have things you can share with people, because it might be that when you look at your hedgehog concept, which is what I showed you earlier, remember I showed you this diagram not too long ago? And if you're listening to the podcast, I apologize, it's a Venn diagram with the three circles. It might be that this relates more to your part-time stuff. Your side hustles, the stuff that you're really interested in but you don't normally do. Now, it doesn't mean that anybody who's an employer is going to be worried about it. It just means that you are a fully rounded potential employee or potential person to work with. You might even find that your interests align with theirs, and so even though you're doing a different job together, you have deeper roots than you had actually considered. So it's worth putting that stuff on your CV. Okay, what else could be missing for your career plan? How much personal development have you actually invested in? Now, here's the thing that I find when I actually work with people, is there's a big difference between investing in your own personal development and waiting for your company to put you on a course. They are not the same thing. If you wait for your company to put you on a course, and I'm not saying companies are bad doing it, but they are putting you on something that makes you better at what they want you to be able to do. It might be the fact that you've got other things you're interested in and you should be investing in that. Also, they're not investing in you to fast track your career. They're not investing in you to make more money from them. They're investing in you to be more efficient at the job that you're at. So maybe one day when the time is right and everyone else retires, it can promote you. So therefore, you should consider how much personal development you are putting your money into and spending time to do. So if you want to be like your boss, or you want to be like somebody who owns their own business, or you want to be able to fast track, go on courses and learn how to do that. Every single skill you can think of is available. So make sure you go out and do a course that helps you to get there. I promise you, it'll fast track your time and you'll wonder why you never did that before. All right, next up is this. Number 4, can you lead? Big question, but it's a realistic question. Can you lead? Where's your proven track record of being a leader? Now, I've mentioned this many times before because people's opinion of being a leader is therefore you've got a big company, you've got loads of staff, and you tell them what to do, and they all look up to you and go, hallelujah, you're the best. Not necessarily. You could be a leader just when you're on your own. You could be a leader with your small business. You could be an entrepreneurial leader. You could have a community, or you maybe just stand up and talk in other people's communities. It doesn't matter. The moment you start putting your point forward and you change people's opinions and people's ideas, that means you've started to lead. That makes you a leader. So it's worth looking back. Now, if you're in a position where maybe it's difficult to position yourself as a leader because you tend to work on your own and you don't have a team, and you come in and you do contracts as an outsourced member of staff and you disappear, your leadership could be expressed through your social media when you share ideas. It could be as a thought leader. You could write a book. You could have a podcast. You could have a number of different things that are signature to you that let people know that you can lead. Lead doesn't necessarily mean that you've got a gang of people dressed like you following you everywhere you go. That would be creepy, especially if you dress like me. Next up is number 5. Do you have emotional intelligence and empathy? Why should that matter? Because nowadays, more than any time ever, we are employing leaders, decision makers who understand what the world is truly all about. If you have to have an outsourced team, if you have a remote team, and if you've got a small business and you don't want to run it from an office, you'd rather run it from your laptop in your living room with Netflix on silent so you can concentrate on what it is that you're doing, then you need to have a team who can work for you as and when you need them. Could be different people that you contract to do visuals like a video for you, or graphic design or writing. Doesn't matter what it is. You need to be able to prove that you've got emotional intelligence and empathy when you reach out to them. Otherwise, these are people you might never meet anytime in your life. If they have a bad day, you can't just say, well, I'm paying you to turn up. You can, but the odds are they might not turn up for you very much longer. If you can say, what's happening? Tell me about it. I understand that. How soon can you come back? And when can we expect this to be done? At least you gave empathy. So emotional intelligence is something you should really study and should learn about, because especially when AI becomes more prominent, as indeed it is, here's where the challenge is. The more that AI becomes more powerful, the more that people understand that their jobs will disrupt and change, the more those people need a leader. And a leader is somebody who can interpret from experience new ways of doing stuff despite the disruption of AI or any other tech or a recession or a pandemic. That's what you need to have. Those are the skills that you need to be able to share. Does that make sense? Good. So therefore, empathy and emotional intelligence are really powerful because they give you stuff like teaching you logical, consequential thinking, and also how to influence and how to persuade. These are all emotional intelligence traits. Next up, number 6, can you adapt? Can you survive? And can you thrive through disruption? This is a big question. That's a very challenging one to ask because I had to go through all this. Certainly the pandemic as a speaker meant that I couldn't go out and speak on any stages. I couldn't talk to audiences. I couldn't do anything. And my audiences, my clients are people who are CEOs, decision makers, who are worried about working on stages. They dried up. I don't need to stand on a stage, Dave, which means I don't need to hire you to get me to be a better speaker. Thank you. Bye. So how do you get through that? How do you deal with disruption? Disrupt back, push back, learn up the skills that you need. I've already showed you that hedgehog concept of the Venn diagrams. That's what you need to be able to fall back on and say, what else works under that? And also AI, for everybody there's disruption coming, but when you do it right, you work with it as your co-pilot. And as your co-pilot, it helps you move forward faster, and it allows you to be a much more enhanced individual. Yes, like a super soldier, Captain America, like that. By doing the same job you did before, but faster, smarter, stronger, and being able to produce more for more people that you might not even know their subject, but AI does. But you do have to check it, because sometimes it hallucinates and tells you lies. So can you adapt, survive, and thrive disruption? If you're not sure about it and you haven't been doing much in the last couple of years, then have a think about it. The way to do this, if you've ever wondered, how do I check to see if I'm full survive? What? It's a bit of chili pepper. There you go. Spicy food. I was going to catch up. Go back to where I was. We can edit this out. How do you check to see if you're disruption proof? Well, you start off by asking yourself some really tough questions. If the worst came to the worst in my business, how would I survive? So if everything I knew was stripped away, if artificial intelligence changed my industry and there's an app that replaced me, what do I have to fall back on? That's why it's so important to have different pillars that hold up your income. So you do that and you do that and you do that and you do that. If you only have one and that goes away, not only are you worthless, and I don't mean as a person, I mean to the job market, but also you've got nothing to be able to respond to or lean on, because that's your one source of income. That's the one thing I hate about the idea of being employed. One person has the ability to keep you or not keep you in your job. If you fall out with them or anybody else in the organization, and it's so bad, but let's face it, people do act like people, then there's a very good chance that that could affect your livelihood and you never know how long for. Now, there's a question for you. Why do people pay you what they pay you? Well, let me share with you the business model for being paid. Very simple. The effect of the job that you do and how cheaply they can replace you with somebody else. Does that make sense? Good. So therefore, when we're looking at it, your ability to adapt and thrive and survive, you need to have evidence of it, but you also need to make sure that you know that you can do it in the worst case scenarios. Number 7. This is one of my favorite subjects, grit. Do you have grit? Big question, and I may play out with a video for this, all about grit. In this video, I will introduce to you, if I remember before the end of today's session, just so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Grit is your ability to adapt, to change, to survive, to think differently, but keep going. And what's the thing about grit? Well, the thing I love so much about grit is the fact that if you have grit and you're able to keep going, it doesn't mean that you're the best in your industry. It doesn't mean you're the smartest. It doesn't mean that you're richest. It doesn't mean that you've got the most education. It doesn't mean that you're the best connected. It just means that you stuck with it and you carried on learning and you grew and it all snowballed. So by the time you get to the very end, you are the best that you could be, like you would have fast-tracked if you had all these other advantages, but you didn't. You got there under your own steam. How do you do that? That takes grit. So that's the question, number 7. Do you have grit? Number 8. Can you communicate and collaborate effectively? Do you know how to have the ability to lead socially, to be a leader? And if so, what do you say? What do you not say? Are you good at speaking on a stage? Are you good at speaking on podcasts? Can you write really effective, good letters so people go, that's persuasive, or maybe great WhatsApp messages? When you can communicate and collaborate effectively, there's a whole business model waiting for you that could to make you a small fortune or even millions. I've been reworking this. I'll show you the new diagram soon, and that's worth about £2 million or dollars, depending, because they're very similar now, dollars and pounds. So your ability to speak is not just about your ability to hold a microphone. Collaboration comes from all this because you can mentor, you can coach, you can grow on membership sites. You can also have products and services that people see you speak about and want to buy. You can have affiliate sales for other people's products, or connect people who really want each other's services and pay you a commission. You can create tribes and podcasts, and it goes on and on and on and on. There's so many things that just being a speaker or communicator or collaborator will allow you to have. You don't even, it's only the yellow in this particular Venn diagram, the yellow circle, forget the other ones, that are actually about physically speaking in front of people. The rest of them could be to a small group, one-to-one, or expressing yourself through things that you write or things that you organize. For instance, number 10, about being in a mastermind group. You don't need to worry about the mastermind group being face-to-face. You can quite easily do it on Zoom or whatever is your favorite collaboration tool for doing online conferencing. But the point is, you're smart enough to be able to conduct a meeting and contribute and get the very best out of everybody, so people will want to pay you to be part of that particular group. There's loads of different ways of doing this, and that's why it's so important to consider that. That's why I wanted to share that in, about can you communicate and collaborate effectively. Next up is this, number 9. Do you offer continuous learning and upskilling to others? Have you got a course? Are you training people? When people are working with you, do you mentor them? When you've got people working with you in your company, it might not even be your company, are you helping to grow them? If you haven't done that and you haven't shown people, it does 2 things. When you mentor and you coach and you train others, it helps them to grow, for which they will be grateful, unless you fall out with them, but also it helps you to grow, because as you share ideas and concepts and insights and tools and techniques, it also means that it crystallizes in your head exactly which ones you like and which ones you don't like. Otherwise, you go through an experience and we're all kind of mapped about. When you get to share them with somebody else and they go, I don't know what you mean, and then you have to focus on what that really means, you understand them better yourself. That's why it's so much worth it to learn and share and mentor other people as you go too. And number 10 is this. What will be your legacy? What will people remember you for? What will people say about you after you've gone? And that doesn't mean dead. It could mean retired. It could mean leaving the industry and leaving behind ways that people changed it and are continuing to do so. When you build your legacy while you're alive, it means not only you're guaranteed about what people will think of you when you're gone, but you also see the change you've made in people in real time. You build up this incredible legacy about who you are and what you do, which means that as people discover it, they're able to upgrade their game at the same time. If you want to upgrade your game, by the way, then go to speakonstage.com/upgrades and see a ton of the stuff I've already talked about are available for you there as programs and enhancements, and also as ongoing coaching and membership groups for you as well. I won't show you too much of that. All you need to do is, as usual, get your QR code reader, which is your phone, and just basically click on it, and you should be able to open up the page, speakonstage.com/upgrades. Any questions you have? Any? No? You're fine? We can stop? Well, that's amazing. I bet it's not, though. Here's the thing. When you create the industry icons, you create people's ability to grow, then there's a number of things that happen. The roadmap is simple. For your career plan, you should be like, this fits in perfectly for your own particular career plan, but this is what we do with the industry icon. So your awareness is point number 1. This is you at school being told, what do you want to study? What do you want to be when you grow up? You come up with a number of different ideas, and you're aware that now you can't play anymore. You've actually got to make sure you've got the direction. So you aspire to be something. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a spaceman. I want to be a man. Or I want to be a football. Whatever it is, that's what you aspire to be. But it might be that you want to be the fireman in a different industry. I want to be at the top level, helping people, but so on. I want to be like a spaceman, but I want to do it in a kitchen. Are you going to make a mess? Yeah, no. And you're going to probably climb into a washing machine. It's practice. Forget I said that. That's not what I'm talking about. The aspiration, and then you start driving your career towards where you want to be. When you reposition yourself, when you realize the area that you're really good at. Now, here's one of the things about repositioning. If you want to be a leader in a corporate, you shouldn't necessarily be repositioning yourself too much. In fact, what you should really be doing is trying out lots of different departments. So therefore, you can be positioned on a fast track towards being a CEO because you understand what every department's doing. Doesn't mean you have to spend all the time running one of them. It doesn't mean you have an interest and a knowledge about what they do and all the different challenges that they go through. So therefore, you can lead and you can have an overview about how your business grows without just going through your own particular direction, which in most cases would be financial as a CFO or maybe as a CIO coming on now, but from sales and marketing quite often too, often operations. So there you go. You know what I'm talking about. No, I don't, Dave. Well, you should do. So with that, let's go back to the original idea, which was this. And that was what I was sharing with you. In fact, I shared a different one, which involved those things missing, which is this. So therefore, you reposition yourself, you refine what areas you're very good at doing, and then you start to own your position in your market or in your company or in your industry. And that's what's called an industry icon. So that's the big diagram of all the breakdown of what you need to be able to do that. I won't spend time on it today. I only do that with my industry icons, but I can show you this because you can see, oh, and you can do a screenshot if you want to, but it's gone too late. So your legacy is what you're creating, and ultimately that creates signature projects. Now, signature projects might mean the things that are missing from your particular career. What does that mean, Dave? Well, think about this. When we're talking about all the things you need to be more efficient in your job, which is that list that I shared with you earlier, and I shared it, where was it? Go back. And it was, keep going back. There, hey, I can edit that out. So these are the things that I suggested you should consider. And in fact, if you want to take a screenshot of this, I will disappear and give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and gone. Back again, that's me. So I mentioned about these for your career, but you might decide that what you need to do is really enhance your own particular game by going down this route and saying, right, I need a signature project, which when you put it on top of what I do really makes me stand out. So what are those things? Let me share them with you right now. First of all, consider with your signature projects growing your brand. Make a really powerful brand so people know who you are when you walk in the room, and when you leave the room they've only got a good thing to say about you, whether you've talked to them or not. They've just been impressed by you put in the market and how people speak about you. Your public speaking skills, your mastery of being able to stand on a stage and talk to people is really important when you want to amplify your reach. And also, when you want to position yourself as more efficient and better than just an AI version of you, your ability to connect to an audience in public is massively important. Attracting fans and followers to follow you and spend money with you and spread the word and give referrals and word of mouth, that's essential, by the way, to make sure you build that in as a signature project. Overcoming imposter syndrome, and it's not just a one-off, it can be throughout your entire life. There are things that knock you back and things that challenge you and things that upset you. When you've got that, you understand that it is part of a journey and you can overcome everything that comes your way. Launching a podcast or a TV show like this so people can find you, connect with you, and understand what it is that you share with the market and learn. Then you become influential by creating the right kind of content that people want to read and share and also act upon. Then you write books, courses. Why are they relevant? Because they can also do the heavy lifting while you're not there. If somebody wants to work with you or your company and you give them a copy of your book, imagine how that compares to a business card world where people don't want to connect business cards. But if you give them a book that you've written, not just an ebook, not just a PDF, but you actually give them a physical book of something that you've put together about what it is that you do or your method or your industry, they won't throw it away. So that $5 or so you invest in getting the book is probably worth about $5,000 in potential business. As they look at it, they share it, like you've written, you and talk not just an ebook, not just a PDF, but you actually give them. Organizing events and retreats is a great way to bring people together as a community and spend time with them, and also get them to fast track without distractions what it is they offer to the market. Monetizing your expertise is important. Again, in your career, you might be paid a wage to do things, but you might find that these other things you see on this list are ways of earning extra cash. And also, not only do they open up other doors to you, but they mean that they enhance your existing position. If you're working in a company and you're saying to people, right, have you read my book? And you're working for somebody else, you're an employee. They read your book and it's all about what it is that you do in your job really well. That means to the company that you're working with, like a bank or something, you're almost unsackable because you're quite clearly a thought leader and should be promoted to the board of directors. But it also means you're incredibly visible to every other bank who then will try and poach you because they really want the chance to work with you. I know you haven't thought about this, but it's really good, isn't it? And last but not least is this, creating your legacy, as I've mentioned, that people being able to see you, connect with you, and say, right, that's a person I want to go out to play with. Your legacy could be very simple. It could even look like this. That's me, that's what I do. If you want to do your own version of it, by the way, join my WhatsApp group. It's called the Turbocharge Your Career 5-Day Challenge. Now, it's free, and all you have to do is basically jump on and get the QR code, and then there's one, just like a bus. You mentioned it, and it comes along. How spooky is that? Get your phone, or even just if you're on a digital device right now, just click on the QR code, and it'll take you to the WhatsApp group. You get an invitation to come and join us. We do them once a month for 5 days. Very short, should take you about 5, 10, 15 minutes maximum to be able to take this challenge, but you learn a brand new skill. Last month we did business storytelling. We're currently doing how to become a game changer and really disrupt your industry and position yourself at the top of it. And we do lots of other skill sets as we move along. So if you're interested in that, come and join us. If you listen to the podcast, you're saying, but there's no QR code and I really want to join you, Dave, then go to www.bit.ly/Turbo Career Challenge. Once again, that's www.bit.ly/Turbo Career Challenge. And that's all you have to do. It's been a pleasure spending time with you. I hope you enjoyed today's session. Short, sweet, and beautifully formed. A bit like me. Not really, Dave, you're fat. Shut up. Stop talking about stuff like that. With that, I promise to leave you with thoughts about grit. So speak on stage. I promise to see you soon. Look forward to catching up with you. Let me know your thoughts and your ideas that connect with what it is that we do here. And wherever possible, I will share with you all my stuff too. I'm just looking through now and I can't find grit. Where's grit, Dave? I'm not sure, but I will find it and share it with you in a moment's time. again, Dave Crane. Let me tell you about grit. Most people think it's easy, but they don't really understand it. It's a long story. It's about a long journey. And if you really want to make a difference in your life, then grit's the way that you'll do it. Let me explain. It means pain. It means perseverance on a worldwide scale. It's taking yourself to the next level, and most people don't do that. They don't realize the journey, it doesn't stop. You keep your eyes on the prize. You go wide and never ever let it stop. You go on a journey like this, looking around, wondering where it's going, where's it leading me? And when you stop, you have to take a breath. You have to realize, not everybody's on your side. Most people don't understand, but grit is the one thing that'll take you on your journey. Let me show you something. And I'm exhausted, because the way that it takes you is grit has always got to be trusted. It's a one thing, a unifier that guarantees you will go to a higher level in your life, because somehow you will know nobody else does. Nobody else gets it. Nobody else knows just how much it takes to make it. So is grit the same as perseverance? Is it the same as resilience? Is it the same as talking? Is it the same as goals? It's all the above. But here's the difference. If you decide you've got grit, then it doesn't matter where you're from. Grit beats all. It beats smarts. It beats intelligence. It beats strength of character. It just means you keep your eyes on the prize and you keep pushing, non-stop. And that's what we do. Keep pushing. And it means you spend a lot of time on your own, on a journey. Nobody gets it, nobody knows, nobody understands. And as you travel, there's people that travel with you. And they don't know why you're doing it. And you don't have to explain it either. But tests have shown, if you've got grit, the big change that it makes for you is you always become with it. You can move, and you never change. And people come and go, but they always say the same thing. Why do you do this? Why do you stick with it? Why do you just take the easy route? But you can't. Grit doesn't work that way. You lose friends, you lose family, you lose money, you change towns, go to a new venue, find new hurdles, get friends, get down. Everybody looks and they step off. You take a new journey with you, but the way to stick with it is grit will see you through. If you believe in yourself and you're strong enough, you don't, then you're never going to make it. But here's the thing, if you've got grit, you're always going to take it. And then at the end of your journey, and it doesn't matter who you are, just pushing yourself further and further will get you to somewhere special. And when you get there, you'll know that every single second was worth it. You'll know it. Because when you get to the top, and you look at that view, and you put down your stuff, and you know it's about you, you can smile, you can love, and you can see it was worth it.